Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Walang mag-good afternoon. Nakakadalawang good afternoon na ako.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. So you are 25. Alberto, patay mo yung camera mo. Wendy, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon everybody. Andito na ba si Jean? Jean, nandito ka na ba? Jean
Sir,
Alex. Andiyan ka na pala. O, Iha, alam na. Alam na. Ganun uli yung procedure natin. Okay, o inuulit ko, yung mga hindi pa nagpo-post ng picture ni Darren, yung hindi pa nagpo-post ng picture ni Darren sa wall niya kasi absent kahapon. Paki-post yung picture ni Darren, tapos ilagay niyo sa wall ninyo. Ilagay niyo sa wall ninyo, tapos pagkalagay niyo sa wall ninyo, yun, screenshot, tapos yung screenshot isi-send sa GC. Tapos kukunin na lang ni Jean Alec yung pangalan niyo para sa attendance. Pero kung nagawa niyo na kahapon, okay na yon class. Okay? Kukunin na lang ni Jean yung attendance habang nagkaklase tayo. Okay ba, Jean? Okay ba? Jean Alec?
okay po.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon. So, we will finish week 12 to 13 today. We will finish 2 weeks today. Balik kasi 3 weeks siya. 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13 um, in one lesson, which is very tama lang naman. Kasi review of related literature class is a very tedious topic talaga when talking about in research. Okay? So, let's start. We are 31. Pang 32 ako. Okay, so mag-share screen lang ako, class, ha? Mag-share screen lang ako. Share screen. Okay, bago tayo magsimula, nakita nyo ba to, class? Quarter 2 performance task. Nakita nyo?
Opo.
Okay, nakita nyo sa screen, ha? So hindi na ako magpapaulit-ulit, ha? Para hindi magpatong-patong lahat yung gagawin nyo. Kung ano yung per week na gawin nyo na agad. Okay? Katulad ngayon, pagkatapos nating mag-lesson ngayon, meron na kayong performance task. Okay, performance task, quarter 2 performance task, which is all about week 11 to 13, learning from others and reviewing the literature. Okay? So alam nyo na yan, ha? Ano tong nag-chat? Okay, we are 32. 32 kayong lahat. Okay. But ba't parang umuunti-unti na, paunti tayo ng paunti? Nag-date na agad? Valentine's na agad? Ha? Nag-date na yung iba, nauna nang nag-date? Sa linggo pa ang Valentine's, class, magcha-Chinese New Year pa tayo. Chinese New Year muna tapos Valentine's Day. Excited much? Ang konti na natin, no? 33 na lang tayo. Excited much yung iba? Excited much? O kaya nag-date na sila ng Valentine's Day. Excited much. So sa linggo pa yung Valentine's. I'd like to greet everybody an advance happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, class. Advance. Ay, walang reply. Wala akong kausap. Wala akong kausap.
Happy
Valentine's
Valentine's.
Day, sir.
Ayan, may kausap naman pala. Okay. May kala ko wala na naman akong kausap. Nagdadadakdak na naman ako ng walang tao. Okay, start na tayo, ha. Okay, start na tayo. Okay, so review of related literature, class. You're doing it kasi 'di ba when you do your research, it is not the first time your research has been done. Okay, hindi first time nagawa yung research topic nyo. Somewhere in the world, somewhere in the Philippines, or maybe somewhere in NCR, somewhere in a particular school or in a particular institution, your research has been conducted already. You are just doing the same topic as them. Maybe you are just doing a research connected to their topic. So, it is better to present your topic or to present your research with a review of related literature. Okay, yesterday we've talked about review of related literature. These are the published and unpublished articles connected to your topic. Okay, connected to your topic. Yung mga may kaugnayan sa topic nyo, medyo parang kaparehas nyo. Ano mini-message si John Ray? O, Jean, si John Ray ngayon lang nag-post. Si Ellie, si Angelica, silang tatlo. Okay? So, yun yun. Okay. So, yesterday, we've talked about ano-ano ba yung scope ng related literature. Pwede siyang books, pwede siyang studies, pwede siyang magazines, pwede siyang website. It can be local, it can be foreign. Okay? As long as they are what? Timely, napapanahon, objective, may kinalaman sa study nyo, and then it is based on facts. It is based on facts and reliable information. Hindi basta-basta research lang na putyo-putyo. Okay. Ay, ito kaparehas to ng research natin. Dali, pa-Xerox na natin. O, nagpunta kayong National Library, excited ka. Ay, mamiro. Ay, kaparehas ng study natin. Ako, pa-Xerox na nga natin. Hindi kagad ganun, class. Always remember that when you encounter a study similar to your study, you need to gauge them if that study meets your criteria. 'Di ba? Dapat ano siya, when you choose a review of related lit, it should be what? It should be relevant to your study. It has a connection to your study. Okay? Neither too many nor too few. Okay? Hindi dapat mahaba, hindi dapat maikli. Yesterday, we've talked about static, syndicated, and dynamic sources. Okay? Alam niyo na yun ha. Static, syndicated, tsaka dynamic. Standard styles. Okay, ito na. Ito na yung citation styles. Okay, we have the Chicago Manual Style or CMS. CMS, then we have the Modern Language Association or MLA. Oy, hi Carl. Happy Valentine's, Carl. Tsaka Kelly, happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. Modern Language Association or MLA and American Psychological Association or APA. Okay. So, mix tayo ngayon, di ba? All of my grade 11 are mixed. Iba-iba kayo ng strand. Okay, sa practical research 1, I am only dealing as you as a one section. One section lang kayo, sama-sama dun yung 200 mahigit na students. But in doing your citation, sir, ano po ba yung citation? Citation, ito yung this is what we put how to format the sources. Okay, kung mapya ka for example from a book, ano yung ginagawa natin, di ba? Direct quotations. Pag kokopya ka, exact words, word for word, kokopyahin mo. You need to put quotations, tapos you need to put citation style. Okay, so we have tatlo to. CMS, Chicago Manual Style, MLA, Modern Language Association, tapos APA, American Psychological Association. When I was studying years ago, what I have encountered lang is tong MLA, dalawa lang yung tinuro sa amin eh. MLA tsaka APA format. Okay, yung Chicago later. MLA is used for humanities, literature, and languages. Okay. Sa UMS, okay, kapag UMS, your topic is all about UMS. Alam ko yung UMS, it's all about humanities eh, di ba? It's all about humanities. MLA ang gagamitin mo. Tatandaan mo ha, pag UMS, MLA. Oo. Hindi ko lang alam kapag general academic strand. Kapag GAS may use both because American Psychological Association APA used in social sciences, psychology, education, and business. Yung mga ABM dyan, accounting, business, management, ay general academic strand, APA ang gagamitin nyo. Pero yung mga UMS, okay, sa MLA kayo. Okay, we also have the Chicago Manual Style. The Chicago Manual Style, one is designed for the humanities and one is designed for social sciences. Okay, one is designed for humanities and one is designed for social sciences. Okay, so let's continue. Okay. So make sure the appropriate citation style for your research. Make sure you use this particular style in your in-text citation and full bibliographic citation. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng in-text citation? Para makita nyo ha, yung itsura niya. Ito. Nakikita ba, class? Class, nakikita?
Opo.
Okay, so nakikita. Let's para mas ma-familiarize kayo ha. Kasi magkakaroon uli kayo ng ganitong topic sa practical research 2. Your teacher will decide. Siya magsasabi sa inyo, okay class, ang gagamitin natin ay MLA. Okay class, ang gagamitin natin ay APA. Depende sa topic nyo, depende sa teacher, and also maybe depende sa strand. Depende sa strand. Okay? So ganito siya. So tingnan natin ayan. Ay, bakit naging
citations in APA.
Naririnig, class?
We won't be able to describe.
Class, naririnig?
Opo.
Okay, sige. Panoorin
This
niyo
video
muna.
describes the difference between formatting works cited citations in MLA and reference list citations in APA. We won't be able to describe every single difference of citing every single kind of source, but we will look at some examples of the same source cited in both styles so you can see the general differences. Let's start with similarities, though. In both MLA and APA, format your citations in Times New Roman font, 12-point size, with double spacing and a hanging indent. Now let's tackle the differences. The first difference between the two styles is that they each call this list of citation different things. While MLA calls it a works cited list, APA calls it a references list. The next difference is in how we write authors' names. Both styles start with the author's last name and a comma. But MLA spells out the author's first name and abbreviates any middle initial, while APA uses initials for both first and middle names. APA does not care what your author's first name is, change it to an initial. The next difference is that the date of the source appears much sooner in APA citations than it does in MLA. APA is used in disciplines like social sciences and health sciences that really care about how current your information is, so that's why it's the next element in the citation after the author's name. In MLA style, the date comes later in the citation because it's usually not as important to be using the most up-to-date sources as possible in disciplines like English and foreign languages. The next general difference has to do with capitalization. MLA uses headline capitalization for titles. All important words are capitalized, but not smaller words like articles or prepositions in the middle of a title. APA uses headline capitalization for some kinds of titles and sentence capitalization for other kinds of titles. Titles of shorter works, like articles, web pages, and book chapters, use sentence capitalization. Only the first word of the title, the subtitle, and any proper nouns are capitalized. But for larger entities, like titles of websites, publications, or databases, APA uses headline capitalization. It can be hard to keep APA's capitalization rules straight, but don't worry, you can always look them up whenever you need them. There are lots of other differences between MLA and APA in terms of the information elements you have to include in citations and how they are formatted and ordered. But it depends on the type of source you're citing, and this video can't cover everything. For more information on how to cite specific sources in MLA or APA, consult help guides like our library site, the resources your professor provides, and online guides like the Purdue OWL.
Okay, so did you get an idea? Did you get an idea on how MLA and APA is being formatted? Nagkaroon kayo ng idea, class? Sagot. Nagkaroon kayo ng idea?
Opo.
Yung kaibahan ng MLA sa APA. So, yung iba sa inyo, I know, you have encountered this during your high school. Pero here in college, here in senior high, it will be reinforced. Ipapaalala sa inyo so that when you do a research on college, when you enter college, and then before you graduate, when you do your thesis, you are already familiar and you already know how to use the MLA and the APA. I don't know na kung anong ginagamit natin sa Philippines. Kasi different institution, different universities like PLM, Mapua, Lyceum, UDM, they use different formats. Okay, the formats will be dictated by your teacher. Kunyari, sasabihin ng advisor nyo, class, ang gagamitin natin ay MLA. Class, ang gagamitin natin ay APA. So, kapag sinabi niya na yon, that's the only time you can format your sources para sinusunod niyo yung okay. So, that's it. Okay? So, let's try to open this. What's this? Okay. Okay. So, you may check online, especially yung mga YouTube tutorials. Yung mga YouTube tutorials, you can check it. You can check it so that you get to know the difference between APA and MLA. So much on that. Synthesizing the relevant literature. Gathering and collecting the relevant and credible materials for the related could be overwhelming for young researchers like you. Hence, Casella and Cuevas explain specific guidelines to produce a coherent literature. Number 1, organize the survey information in terms of importance by determining the highly relevant to least essential points. When you gather mga researches, studies connected to your topic, pag nagpa-xerox kayo, wag lahat ipapa-xerox nyo. You need to choose which is very relevant and least relevant. Yung pinaka-importante, pinaka-connected, yung hindi naman masyadong connected. And then you decide which is essential, which is relevant to my study, and which is least relevant to my study. Okay? Irarank nyo sila para hindi kayo mahirapan. Number 2, classify and identify appropriate categories, relationships, similarities of both local and international studies. Okay? You need to what? To identify how is this research paper the same with my research topic. For example, the research about, di ba binention ko kahapon, COVID-19? Gusto mo mag-research about COVID-19? I think we had nakakatatlong coronavirus na tayo, class. Isa nung 2003, isa nung 2005. I know it's SARS SARS muna. SARS-1, tapos MERS-CoV, yung dalawa. Okay, yung isa, yung SARS, alam ko galing din sa China yun. Pero yung MERS galing sa Saudi. Tapos yung pangatlong coronavirus, yung COVID-19, galing uli sa China. Nakakatatlong nakakatatlong coronavirus na yung mundo. Nakakatatlong pandemic na tayo sa coronavirus. But I think ito yung pinakahuli, yung COVID-19. Ito yung pinakamatindi. Kasi yung 2003 and 2005, wala lang yun eh. Thousands lang. Mga 3,000 lang, 5,000 lang. Ngayon, ilan na ang infected? Millions and millions na, di ba? Millions and millions. So, present the literature according to chronological or logical order. From the most recent to the earliest time of development. Okay. Pwede nyo tignan yung date of publication so that you would know what year is this research paper made? Was this research paper made? Para you would know, ay ito 1970s pa pala. Ay 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s. O yun, pwede nyo pag-ayus-ayusin. Okay? Chronological or logical order. Analyze their respective content, facts, finding, method, concepts, and implication. Cite properly all relevant literature into a meaningful whole. Okay? Kasi you will synthesize them eh. You will connect them together. You will explain why is that study connected to your study. And then during the defense, when your advisor and your panelists would ask you questions, you have to answer why is that research paper connected to your research work. Summarize or paraphrase through synthesizing the information. Do not narrate or report the study over the years. Do not simply trace the development or reiterate the writer's idea. Instead, summarize by indicating the implication of the literature to one's problem. This is common kasi common to eh. Na-encounter ko to sa dati kong school. Nagka-copy-paste lang sila. Copy-paste, copy-paste. Tapos inaangkin na nila yung idea. Which is not good. When you explain something, you just don't explain and repeat what the writer says. Inulit mo lang yung sinabi ng researchers eh. Ng mga researchers. All you have to do when you explain something, you need to synthesize and summarize and paraphrase the idea of the writer. Tapos, and then explain it. Okay? What is the implication of the findings of other researchers on your own problem? Okay? Avoid or distortion of the writer's original meaning by direct quotation. Huwag kang kopya ng kopya. Ay, copy natin to. Copy ko to, copy-paste. Lagyan ko ng quotation. Lagyan ko ng APA, MLA. Okay, avoid misinterpretations. You have to understand the real meaning the writer wanted to convey. Huwag ka lang interpret basta ng interpret. You need to check the text thoroughly. If you do not know the meaning of the words they are using, use online dictionary. Synthesize into apply in-text citation for paraphrase or refer to the citation style parts presented earlier. Okay, I would like to show you something. Footnoting. Okay, so how do you do it? So ito, pakinggan niyo to.
Today I want to show you how to insert a footnote in Microsoft Word. If you're an undergraduate at New Life, you're going to use the footnote bibliography style of Turabian. And in this particular style, you will note the source you use both at the end of the page in which you use it and at the end of the paper in the bibliography. To be able to do this, you first want to position your cursor where you need to make note of the source that you used. And then you want to click on the References tab and click on Insert Footnote. This does two things. This puts a superscript number beside the area of the paper where you need to make note of your source, and it also creates a placeholder at the bottom where you can start typing. Before you start typing the actual footnote, you need to make a couple of changes so that it meets the Turabian guidelines. First, you want to highlight this one. Notice it's in superscript, and in Turabian it's not supposed to be. So once you've highlighted that, you want to click on the Home tab, and then you want to click on this icon right here where it says superscript. When you click on that, it takes it out of superscript. And you also want to change the font and the font size so that it matches the body of your paper. So you want to make this 12 size font and make sure it's Times New Roman if it's not already. Now once you've done all this, you can press the Tab button, and this moves it over 5 spaces, and put the cursor after the one, type a period, and now I'm going to show you how to create a footnote in the Turabian style. I'm going to type in the author's first name and last name, and then I'm going to add a comma and then type in the title of the book and italicize that. Add another comma. I'm going to note the edition of the book. This is a 3rd edition. And in parentheses, I'm going to type the place of publication. And for a place like New York, you don't have to write the state. Now I'm going to type in the publisher and comma 2005. And then another comma. And I'm going to type in the page in which I took my information from. And that's how you insert a footnote in Microsoft Word using the footnote bibliography style. I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.
Okay. So may natutuhan kayo, class, kung paano gumawa ng citation. Nakita niyo yung example? Class? Nakita niyo yung example?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so ang tawag natin doon pag sa loob ng research nyo, ang tawag natin doon footnotes. Yung kailangan mong ipakilala yung research, yung source mo na pinagkopyahan mo sa baba. Okay? Sa baba ng page kung saan mo siya kinopya. Okay? So pwede ding sa likod. Oh, so much on that. So, how do you write a review of related literature? It has how many parts? Kapag naputol tayo, class, babalik ako. Okay. Writing starts from the moment, yes, ano to? Okay. Writing starts from the moment you start the surveying the related literature for your research. It is expected that while you are reading, collecting, and synthesizing them, you are actually writing all the important information, including the ones needed for the citation and bibliography. In doing this, you must focus on the focus and the argument of your research, not on the related literature that you are collecting. In this part, you need to shape logical and effective report of literature review. They must be done systematically to achieve coherence and understanding in explaining further the topic of your research. So as you present your research, you are presenting sources, class. Pinapakita mo yung sources mo, and then you are constructing your presentation of your related literature. Class, my question is, why is there a need for us to do citation? Bakit kailangan natin mag-APA, MLA, footnote, sources? Bakit kailangan natin mag-ganon? Anong ginagawa natin kapag kumokopya tayo ng gawa ng ibang tao? Tapos hindi tayo nagpapaalam. Kinokopya natin. Anong tawag doon? To give credit. To give credit sa may gawa. Anong ginagawa natin doon, class? Anong ginagawa nating ano? So, ang tawag doon ay, sa ibang tao, ang tawag nila doon, kapag nagnanakaw ka ng movie, ay piracy. Namamirate ka ng idea. Dina-download mo, wala kang bayad. Nag-download ka ng download tapos hindi ka nagbabayad. Tawag doon piracy, class. Diba pag nagda-download ka ng music, ng movies, kapapalabas pa lang, kinokopya mo na agad. Pero tayo sa research, ang tawag natin doon ay plagiarism. Nakita niyo ba? Okay. Ang tawag natin dun, class, ay plagiarism. Kapag nangongopya ka ng gawa ng ibang tao, tapos inaangkin mo, hindi ka nagbibigay ng sources, yun. Ang tawag dun ay plagiarism. Malinaw ba, class? Malinaw? Wala na naman akong kausap.
Opo.
Okay, malinaw naman pala. So do not commit plagiarism. Okay? Alam ko may kaso yan kapag nangungopya ka. 'Di ba nung nakaraan dati yung photographer siya, yung student siya, tapos kinopya niya yung photo nung photo nung taga South America. Kinopya niya yung litrato. Tapos sinali niya sa contest. Tapos nanalo siya. Hindi niya naman pala totoong picture yun. Kinopya niya lang. So yun, nabalita yun, class. Kaya wag kayong gagawa ng ganun, ha? Lalo na pag nag-research kayo, wag kayong kopya ng kopya, copy-paste ng copy-paste. Wag ganun. Masama yun. Okay, let's continue. Ano tong chat? Ayan. Plagiarism, pagkopya without paalam. Correct. Plagiarism, correct. Wag kopya ng kopya. Okay, you have to provide an introduction, the topic, significance, and your thesis statement that outline what conclusions you will draw from your analysis and synthesis of the literature. If your literature review is part of a larger work, explain the importance of the review to your research question. Number 1 yon, introduction. Okay? Do not just provide the summary, class. Provide a thesis statement, outline, significance, analysis, and synthesis of the literature. Do not merely do summary. Wag lang basta summarize ng summarize. You have to say something. Okay, in the body, sa katawan, in the body, discuss and assess the research according to specific organizational principles rather than addressing each source separately. Okay? Most of the paragraphs here should discuss more than one source. Avoid addressing your sources alphabetically as this does not assist in developing the themes or key issues central to your review. O paano ba? Paano ba mag-ayos ng mga ideas sa body ng review of related literature? Okay? Pwedeng chronology. This is used to explain historical changes or perspective. Okay, for example, your topic is COVID-19. Alam ko, class, nagkaroon na tayo ng coronavirus bago pa tayo ipanganak lahat. Siguro nung ano yun, nung mga 1900s, nagkaroon na ng coronavirus. Bali siguro pang-apat na tong COVID-19 na coronavirus. Hindi siya bagong corona. Pang-apat na siya, alam ko eh. Yung pangalawa noong 2003, tapos yung pangatlo noong 2005, tapos yung pang-apat yung 2019 na COVID-19. Pwedeng ganon chronology. Pwede ring by theme. To explain ideas according to your respective premise. Issues are classified based on their closest relevance to the research topic. Pwede rin ganun. Pagsamahin niyo sila kung sino yung pare-parehas yung idea. Ganyan. Hindi lang basta by dates, pwedeng by themes or by ideas. What about sector? By sector, interdisciplinary discussions becomes more comprehensive through this principle. For example, your topic is all about COVID-19, the medical aspect of COVID-19. O ano ba yun? Ano ba yun? The scientific aspect, the origins. Okay. And then the effect, di ba? The global pandemic, COVID-19 as a pandemic. What about letter D? Development of idea. This is used to discuss the stages of ideas that are developing in the research topic of inquiry. This illustrates the development of idea like a snowball. Parang yung nakakita na kayo nung snow na gumugulong. Palaki siya ng palaki, di ba, habang lumalayo. This is how you do it dun sa letter D technique, developments of idea. Developments of idea. You start with a small idea, then develop that, then go to a more complex, more complicated idea until it becomes what? A discussion on your chapter. Okay, class? So, mapuputol ako. So, magko-connect ako uli after 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, tutuloy natin to para sa second part. Okay, class? End ko muna ha. End ko kasi 1 minute na lang. Babalik ako after 8 minutes. Magda-download yung computer ng video. Yung lesson natin, ida-download niya. Sige. After 8 minutes, babalik ako. Pwede kayong mag-CR.